right. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. My name is Dominique Swan, and I'm here with Audrey Cutler. We are both instructional designers at FACET, and today we are going to be talking about the online course template, and we're glad that you decided to join us today. To get us started, we have a couple of goals for this pop-up. One is to get you familiar with the optional online course template that we designed. So we're going to do a full walkthrough of that. And we will also offer suggestions and tips on how you can customize or modify the template to fit your needs. We will have time for questioning at the end. So if there's something that you're wondering, feel free to ask. We would be happy to help you. All right. So before we go ahead and do a walkthrough of the template, I just wanted to take a minute to talk about the purpose of the template. So the template is designed to take the guesswork out of designing remote instruction. And how we do this is by including a lot of placeholders or guides, or you can think of it like a skeleton that you can follow and simply enter information and then make it accessible on Blackboard. So it's simply a plug and play structure, right? It also includes organized content folders so that you don't have to think about the organization. You can sort of think, put more time into thinking about what kind of content is going to work best to meet your goals. All right, so now that we've talked about the purpose, what I would like to do now is share with you my computer so that we can talk about some of the key features of the template. I'm going to share my screen here, and apologies for the tunneling. All right, okay. So this is what the course template looks like when you first have access to it. All right, so the first page that you're going to see when you first have access is the announcements page. Before I start talking about the announcements page, I wanted to focus on the course menu. So as you can see here, we have a lot of things that might be different than what you're used to seeing on a Blackboard course menu. So ordinarily, Blackboard standard menu has fewer items on it than what you see here. But what we wanted to do is pull some things out and highlight areas that both faculty and students might use more often. So for example, there is a section for groups. There's also a section for grades. There's a section for Collaborate Ultra, which you can use for office hours or one-on-one conferences with students. And any of these things are fully customizable. But what we wanted to do is pull out some of the things that might be accessed more in your course. So as we're looking at this, at the very top of the course menu, you will see something that reads faculty only, and only in all caps with this gray box here. Why don't we go ahead and click on it? All right, so this item is the faculty only area, and it includes an overview of, how you can use the template. This information is not visible to students, but we wanted to include some documentation that could walk you through exactly how you might want to use the template, okay? So there's instructions here. There's also a PDF file for Blackboard Tech Help, as well as a video. We included FACET's contact information here as well. If you have questions or if you run into any roadblocks, feel free to reach out. We're happy to help. And then finally, we added some FAQs for questions that we thought a lot of people might have. And so we give a rundown of those here, and we're happy to expand this or answer more questions if you have them if you reach out. So this is the faculty only area, and the purpose is to get you started with using the template. Now that we've looked at that, why don't we go ahead and move on to the second item, which is the announcements. So we're going to click here. All right. So as I said before, when you first access the template, this will be the page that you see first. And you'll also find two messages here. This one, which says faculty only, how to use this template, and the second one, which reads Sample First Announcement, Welcome Students. With this first one, it is not visible to students. We just wanted to include a place where we could flag for instructors, hey, we included some documentation or we included some notes on how to use the template, and so we wanted to direct people there. If you don't want to leave this up here, that's totally fine. You can simply delete this, but it's just a flag so that you know we included some helpful resources on using the template. And then the second message is a welcome students message. So we thought it would be helpful to actually give you a sample message that you can send to students after you've built out your course and you make it ready, all right? And the function of this, I think, is to familiarize them with how your course is organized. So you can leave this as is if you want to use the template outright and you don't change much of anything, or if you choose to change some things around, of course, you can customize this to be what you want, but the goal is to really reach out to students to say, hey, here's my course and here's how it's organized, okay? All right, so those are two messages. And also, if you're wondering, once you edit the message, it will say your name and not my name. All right, so after announcements, we also have information from the menu. We're going to click there. This information area is where you're going to put your course welcome, a syllabus, and a schedule. All right, so in addition to sending a welcome message that explains here's how the course is organized, you also want to give students a starting point for how to access your course. So whatever is your process for how students need to get started, you could put that information right here. You could type directly into this document, or you can restructure it as you see fit, but we want to have an area that will help students see, hey, here's how I want you to start for this first week of classes. And then our second section here is for the syllabus and the schedule. And the great part is all you need to do is upload or attach your syllabus, your course syllabus, and your course schedule, and it's immediately available to students, okay? So for the course welcome and the syllabus, you can customize these things with however you think will be best for your course, but you can simply use it to plug and play. You can just add your documents, add a bit of text, and then your information section is ready to go. All right, another thing that we pulled out from the Blackboard menu was the contact tool. So I'm going to click here in the menu where it says Instructor Contact. Blackboard has this tool where you can display your contact information so that it lays out the basics, and then you can include like a brief profile about yourself. All right, so as you see here, we've got email address, phone number, office location, office hours. You might want to substitute office location for Blackboard Collaborate or whatever you're using to meet with your students, and then give them a general idea of when you're going to be there, if you have a personal website, and then a bio. And also, you could include a picture, all right? We found that we wanted a way for students to be able to quickly reach you without having to skim through syllabus and other documents to find out how to contact you. And so with using this feature, they can simply click here or copy and paste your email address. All right. So after instructor contact, we're going to skip content for now because we're going to save content for last. We're going to look at assignments. So we'll click here. Now, the purpose of this area is to essentially house all of the major assignments here. So think about major projects, major papers, major tests that you will assign and that you want students to be able to find no matter what, like quickly, to be able to find it as easily as possible. They can jump in at a moment's notice. They know exactly where that major stakes assignment is. And so you can customize this area as you see fit, but just know that there's one area that you can add your instructions for assignments along with any rubrics that you might have, and then this part is set up and good to go. Now, let's move back to content, and I'm going to spend quite a bit of time here because this is where the bulk of your content will go. So we'll click content here. Content is where you're going to put all of your instructional materials, and you're going to set them up as units of instruction, and then that way they're in digestible chunks for the students. So that way they know for each week, here's the set of things that I need to access. I tend to call this like your cabinet folder, right, which includes all of your files that you will use to teach. And in that file cabinet, you have your individual folders. So the first one you see is the faculty only folder. This is hidden from students, and I'll explain why in just a second, followed by some other pre-populated folders. So if you find that maybe it's been challenging to set up folders or set up the content, the template will definitely help you streamline that process. All right, so we're going to scroll back up, and we're going to click on the faculty only link here in orange. And remember, as I said, this is for faculty eyes only, and it's basically to give you some information on how you want to work within this content section. All right, so in the faculty only folder here, we have a standalone, well, not standalone, but we have an existing template within the template. So we have the course template at large for the course, but then we have template for content folders or unit folders as well. So in each content folder, we decided to suggest 5 essential things. One is an overview. The second is a to-do list and deadline section. The third thing is all about materials. The fourth thing is about assignments, discussions, or assessments, and then finally the summary. So ultimately what you want to do as you're setting up your content folders is to give students a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. So it's very clear about what it is that you expect them to do every week and what you hope they will gain from it, how it's going to fit within your course, okay? So now that we know what those 5 sections are about, I will talk you through how you can work within each of these individual units. All right, so the overview part is meant to be an agenda. All right, so you can include a brief description of what you want students to do this week and how it applies to what you're doing in the course. Something that we thought might be interesting is if you are like me, you tend to type up your agendas or your overviews. Maybe one week you can test yourself to post a video agenda or overview. And this just sets the context for the student so that they know, okay, we're supposed to read these things, and the reason why we're reading them are X, Y, and Z, something like that. All right, so that's the overview section, and then the second part here is the to-do list and deadlines. So we use this part to list out what sorts of things need to be done for this particular unit of instruction. So let's say we want them to read something, we want them to watch something, and then we also want them to turn something in. This is a great place to list that out in a very clear way. I think that sometimes students are navigating a lot of text, so if you're able to sort of just list them out, that they will probably find that very, very helpful, along with reiterating deadlines. So we might have our deadlines listed in the schedule, and we can also mention deadlines in our course content folders as well. After the to-do list and deadlines, we have materials. So think of this as different readings or things that they will watch or things that they will listen to, anything that they're consuming for the purpose of your class. You could list those things here. We provided some examples of different things that you can include, but of course this is not, the full list. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but we're asking that you at least try to group those materials so that they can be in one place, and that makes it accessible for the students. After you've posted your materials, the things that they're going to look at, listen to, whatever the case might be, after that they need to do something with it, and so we included a section here for assignment, discussion, or assessment. And we thought we would suggest that you could post at least one assignment or direct students to the main menu item where that assignment is located. So if you think that the structure of having the major assignments from earlier that I talked about, remember this thing up here, if that is where you would like to house all of your things versus putting them here, that's fine. That's totally something you can do, but just know it could be helpful to also link that information here as well. And then another thing I would say too is that for some weeks you might have an assignment and a discussion, or you might have a discussion and an assessment, or you just might have one discussion. It really does depend on how many weeks of your semester and what you're doing in the course, but essentially whatever works for you, please do that. Just make sure that the students have a place where it's laid out very clearly what they need to do and it's accessible to them. And our final part of this unit will be the summary. So, of course, just type up a brief summary of what they have done this week and what you hope they would gain. Something that I do for the summary is get students thinking about what's ahead, you know, what's in the next week and maybe the week after that, just to get them thinking. But essentially, the purpose is to wrap things up. All right. So as I said, we have those 5 essential elements: that overview, the to-do list and deadlines, materials, assignment, discussion, or assessment, and finally the summary. And again, this is just one unit or one model of instruction. Okay, so now that we've looked at that, let's go ahead and we will return to content. All right. So we're back here, okay? And I wanted to at least alert you to these folders here. So the great thing about this template is that we were able to pre-populate those elements that I just talked about in each individual folder. So as you see, as I said, everything that we recommended is going to be right in here for you. So you don't have to waste any time with thinking about, okay, what are the sections that I want to put here? How can I structure this? It's already built in, so you can literally customize this as you see fit by clicking this gray arrow here, all right, and then selecting edit, and I'm going to click. And from there, we have our text box, and I can just begin typing, or let's say I already got some notes drawn up elsewhere. It could be in Blackboard, Word doc, wherever your notes are. You can copy and paste that information into here, click your submit, and then it's ready to go. I'm going to click cancel because I don't want to change the template. But essentially, you just plug and play, and you can customize this however you see fit. If there's something that you think you might do in another area, for example, if you have, I don't know, maybe something about your materials are all in just one folder and you've posted that in the sidebar, then you might not want to overlap there. You can just direct students to that particular area in your course. So in other words, I'm just trying to say, if you find that there's overlap between what you already have in the template, then just direct students to where that area might be. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna exit out of here, and then just one final word about the course menu. So I'm gonna go back over here. So in the course menu, feel free to change any of the menu names or to reorder some of the menu items here to wherever you think they are best appropriate. We have talked about changing course names as well. So for example, this section here says information, and let's say we wanted to change that to syllabus. We think that that could be a more descriptive name here. So if we wanted to change this part, this menu item name, we would click this gray button, and from there click rename link, and then we type in the replacement name. You click the green check mark to save it, and then that information is available to you. If you find that this will be more descriptive for you, please, please, please go ahead and try to do this, or for any of the menu items that you want to make more descriptive or change it to fit within your course, then please do so. All right, so that is the walkthrough, and I'm going to hand it over to Audrey so that she can talk more about some of the things that you might want to be aware of as you're working within the template. Thank you.
Thanks, Dominique. Why don't we take a moment before I go into what to do if you're ready to decide to use the template, and just see if we have any questions. And you're welcome to just pop in, turn on your mic, and ask your questions.
Hi, this is Karen.
Hello, what's your question?
I was curious, I saw the tools carrot there at the top on that one page. What tools are available?
Sure. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, so let's see. And so if we go here to tools, this is going to have a lot of great things. So I think before, students might have been going to tools and then going to my grades, so we were able to pull that out. But what I really like about here is that you can find the announcements here, Panopto is in here, Blackboard Collaborate Ultra as well, and some other things that have been integrated into Blackboard, including some Quickly stuff, Quickly attendance, discussion board as well. So a lot of fun things, like a lot of things that we actually included on the course menu over here are also linked here in the tools as well. Does that answer your question, Karen?
Yeah, well, that answers part of it. I was just curious if there are any design tools for faculty to modify things, visually the way they want.
Audrey, what do you think?
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like I use city design tools on Canvas at Salisbury, doing a similar thing, and I was just wondering what design tools you might have available for faculty at Towson.
Well, I would say everything that's available is contained here, and we just have some additional tools such as Panopto for capturing voice and screen capture. But what you see is our main tools.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Any other questions? Okay, well, you can ask them anytime, and always use the chat if you prefer that. I'll pick up now with if you think you'd like to use the template. So first off, this is an optional template, and we want you to know that this tool can be very helpful for you, but is optional, especially if you've already got your own template, your departmental template that you're using. I wanted to let everyone know that if this feels complicated, you can contact us at FACET, and we can help you with these steps. And Blackboard has kindly agreed to do some of this work for you and for us. So, for example, you can request that Blackboard will add the template directly to your summer 2020 course, and they will add it for you and ready it for you, and you'll get an email when that is done. Additionally, if you'd like to copy content from an existing course, let's say your spring course or a previous summer course where you've got some content, you can request at the same time for Blackboard to copy that content in the course. If you choose to do both, your new summer course content will include both the template as you've seen it from Dominique's demo, and also your copied course content. We wanted to really emphasize that you're not going to lose anything in this with this scenario. And a bit of just a heads up for you. If you decide to copy your course in as well as use the template, there's a little bit more that needs to happen to ready the course menu so that everything is where it needs to be for your summer course. So If you are copying a course in where you kept the original course areas, such as information and content, then anything you copy that currently is in information or content will appear right in those areas. It'll pop right in there, along with the template information, for example, instructions or samples. So as an example, if you use information in the summer in your copied course, oh, I just mentioned this, you'll see both the template and your copied course in those areas. If instead, or in addition, if you renamed any areas from the original course or added areas, they'll also be listed in the menu, and they will most likely appear below the template menu items. So for example, if you added a menu item called quizzes, or if you renamed one of the original elements content to units, that will show up in your course as a separate item, quizzes or content, and you can either move those menu items around in your menu, or you can rename those areas, or if you want to keep the template as a suggestion but you don't want it to show it to students, you can also hide that area so just you will see it. Again, you're not alone in this, and there are a lot of things that you've got to support you. So in this same community that you're in today, the Blackboard support community, the 2020 support community, there is a link to the online course template. I'm just going to share my screen briefly so that you can see that. So, all right, share my screen. Okay, so we're in the community right now, the summer 2020 community where you already came to today, and you'll see on the left side online course template as an option. When you click on online course template, there's another overview, a shorter one of what Dominique did today, and a great video that she did where you can actually see her adding content from a course and really customizing the template. That was another one of these pop-ups. I think that can be very useful for you to see how it works. The next piece, if you decide to use the template, are what you would send to Blackboard if you just want to request the template, and if you want to request both the template and some previous course material. So it gives you guidelines exactly what to send to Blackboard. If that is confusing, don't worry, we can help you. Just contact FACET@towson.edu, or if you have a assigned liaison, you can contact them. Just a note about course copying, please ensure that you wait to receive an email that confirms your course has been copied before you proceed. You will always get that from Blackboard when it's done. Or if in the future, if you copy a course yourself, you will get an email when that's done. And it's very helpful to wait for that email and then go for it and make your edits. The last piece of help materials we've got in this section is when I mentioned that you may want to reorder, rename, hide menu items. This is a help sheet for doing that from Blackboard. So all that, again, is in the online course template area in this community. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'll bring back up that last slide. What additional questions do you have about the template? Just to note, Blackboard support email is not on the side. It got cut off, so that email is simply blackboard@towson.edu. I'm just going to pop in a few of the items that we mentioned into the chat of the section of the course, in case you want to go straight to that video I mentioned where you can see how to customize the template for a week of instruction. Also, we've got a help document on reordering menu items or renaming them. Those are direct links. They're also available in the community site. And again, you'll also find instructions on how to request the template in the community site under online course templates. We're just going to stay here for a bit and just be available if you have any questions. In addition, we have some kind help from Blackboard today. And if you have any Blackboard questions or any other questions that are on your mind, please let us know. We're happy to help with those as well. Since we have some time to chat, let's see. Do any of you have your own experience using course templates? Any suggestions you might have for each other? Olu Delapo, please let me know if I'm mispronouncing your name. You are welcome to follow the steps to go ahead and request the template for your summer course and a course copy if you'd like. If you have any questions about any of that, however, you are welcome to just contact FACET@towson.edu and we can connect you with the person that can help you the fastest and easiest.